everyone, my name is Giovanna Proença, and today we're going to talk about how to automate scheduling of clients for your business. So here we're going to be using an automation that will allow us to work with a chatbot, as you can see here in the screen. So this is a website that I built, and here we have this chatbot. Our client will click here in the chat and we'll start a conversation. I already did the conversation here just to show you how it will work. The person will click in the chat and we're going to welcome the person and ask if this person would like to book an appointment. There will be a selection, so if the person say yes, I would like to book an appointment, we're going to say great, what's your name? We're going to get the name of the person, what's your email address, and we're going to ask for the person for a preferred date for the appointment in this format, year, month, day. And then we're going to ask the user for a time. Once the person gives us that, we're going to give a congrats message saying that everything went well, and we're going to put this meeting in the person's calendar. So as we can see in here, we have a meeting scheduled for Felipe, and the client also received this invite for the appointment. All right, so this is what I want to build with you today. So how can you create this chatbot? How can you connect with your Google Calendar using AI tools? So let's start. Here I am working with Wix, which is a platform where you can drag and drop blocks of website, and you don't need code to do this part. So you can use Wix, or you can use WordPress, or another platform you prefer, okay? But I will be using Wix as a reference. Here in Wix, you can click in apps. It will open up the Wix app market, and you should search for the app called Tidio, Tidio. It is loading here, it's taking a little bit of time, but if you search for Tidio, it will pull up this app. You should click, and you should click to add in your website. Once you click to add in your website, they will redirect you to this page that we're seeing here. In my case, I already configured the settings to make it work, but it will ask you to create an account and provide your information. And don't worry, this is 100% free, so you don't need to put your payment, you don't need to pay anything for that. You can use it for free. Once you do all the setup for the account, I won't be explaining the setup because it's pretty simple. You just need to follow the steps they will provide. Then we're gonna start generating our flow for the chatbot. This is pretty amazing because this chatbot already helps us creating a flow for answering questions depending on the answer of our clients. So this way you don't need someone else in there, you don't need to wait for the response. So this is super fast, we can get the response in seconds. So in order to do the setup of this flow, you should click in here, flows, and you're gonna click create from scratch. I already created here mine, so I'm gonna show you the key points I already created so we don't lose time writing everything from scratch. Okay, so when you select, here we have this sidebar with 3 parts we can use: triggers, conditions, and actions. Our trigger will be the initial point of our flow. So I want to trigger this flow when the visitor clicks on the chat icon. So I want to trigger the flow once I click in here to open it up the chat. So this was our initial trigger, and we should insert in there. We don't need to add any other specific part. And then now we're gonna do our actions. So we start here in actions, and you're gonna have several actions you can decide. Since I want to welcome the person and already ask if this person wants to book an appointment, I'm gonna use this block here, decision, quick replies. If you see in here how I did, I decided to use this block, and here we have welcome, would you like to book an appointment? And here the person can click yes or no. With those 2 options, you can decide what will be the responses of your AI. So I will create those 2 options. And if you take a look in here, I decided to create 2 paths. The one, if the person wants to book an appointment, and another one if the person doesn't want it to. If the person doesn't want it to, I select the action, send a chat message just saying, right, do you need our help? So we continue the conversation, and then you can have someone specialized to answer this chat. It can be you or someone else, or you can trigger other events if you want to keep asking other things, but it's a little bit out of our scope, so we will be focusing in the part of appointment. Then if the person select yes, I would like to book an appointment, I'm gonna use the block ask question, and for this ask question I'm gonna say great, what's your name? Here you can change the message to whatever you would like, okay, but what really matters is that we have this name validation. So if the person types something that is not a name, we're gonna avoid that and tell the person that it's wrong and then ask again. Otherwise, if the person already gave us the right answer, we're going to store in the contact property name. We need to store the data of the user in some property so we can use in the future. All right, so this is the first thing. Then if we succeed, I'm going to connect to another question, which is exactly saying, thank you, what is your email address? I am asking the email address in this case because I want to send an invite on Google Calendar, so we need the email of the person. But you can ask other things. You can ask her phone number or something else you would like to know. Here it's up to you to decide. You can do something more personalized. Then asking the question, again, we need to store that variable. And once I have the email address, I want to ask a third question for the preferred date for the appointment. Here, I am also thinking about the user experience. That's why I already told the person to put year, month, and day. The reason why I'm doing that is to simplify the part of the automation. Of course, you can change it. It can be more personal, but I decided to make things simple. And then again, I put the contact property appointment date because we need to keep track of this date when we are creating our automation. Once I have the date, I want to know the time. So here I'm asking for the preferred time for the appointment in that date that we discussed. And again, I'm giving a message for the person so she knows that I want to know in 24-hour format. Of course, you can change to 12 hours format to say, for example, 9 a.m., 10 a.m., but I prefer 24 hours format because it's a little bit more simple. And again, we need to start here in the appointment time. All right, so we ask everything we needed to know. You can ask more things if you want, to just using the actions here and selecting this ask question block and filling in with the questions you want to do. But since I am satisfied with those 4 parts, I am gonna display a successful message. So I just got here this block and I want to say a message for the person, wonderful, our appointment is confirmed. We've sent an invite on your email. So I am already telling the person in the chat, I'm improving the user experience, telling that she should see her calendar so she can confirm the appointment. All right, so we always need to think about the user experience. Now we are happy. Our chatbot is pretty easy to install, pretty easy to manipulate here, the triggers and the actions. You can improve it, whatever we would like. But what really matters in this automation is not only allowing our chat to answer quickly, but also connecting with Google Calendar. And unfortunately, this app we are using doesn't have this much simple. So we need to use another platform called Zapier. And I'm going to explain how can we do that. Before I show this platform, you're going to search for this block, send to Zapier, and you're going to put in here and make the connection. Once I click in this block, you will see that I needed to give a name for this flow that I gave. In this case, I'm just giving the name new appointment booking. And you should copy this key while we are integrating in Zapier, which will be the next step. All right, so as I mentioned, the next step is using this platform here called Zapier.com. It is for free. Of course, you can pay if you want to use unlimited zaps, that's the way they call, so automations in here if you want to have more than. But for the purpose of what we're doing, you don't need to pay, all right? It's all for free, and you can check in the description where we're putting the link. So again, you need to do the setup of your account. It's pretty easy. You just need to connect with your Google account, your Apple account, or your Facebook, whatever you desire. And once you do that, once you have the account, you can go here to the nav bar, to the sidebar, and click Create. This will create a new automated workflow, and you're going to select this option. It will start with this screen here, everything empty, and you can start creating here what you want to connect. In our case, the part of the chatbot is already done, so the chat in our website is already displaying in there. Our goal now is to connect this flow we did in Tidio in our Zap so we can send to Google Calendar. So our goal is to connect Tidio with Google Calendar, all right? So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna select my trigger. So I wanna start all this flow once I receive something from Tidio. And if you search, you're gonna find exactly the app we need. So here for that, you will need to select an event. So contact sent from bot. You need to choose an account. So here you're gonna do all the setup you need. In my case, since I already did this before, it's a little bit easier. But for you, since it's the first time, you just need to copy this from your TDO app and paste in here when you're creating a new account. All right, so I am going to select this one, and this is it. And now the trigger. So we want to start our automated flow when we receive our contact, and here this is the flow we generated, the new booking, the new appointment booking, which is the name I gave in here. All right, so you're going to select this one, continue, and it will test just to be certain that everything we are receiving from TDO we are also receiving here in Zapier. And here they show us we are receiving the name, the phone, the email, city. We have here our property appointment date, which is the one we created, and also the appointment time, because we want to know what was the selected time from our client. And then you can click continue with the record. Before we actually connect with Google Calendar, we need to format the date and time, because if we take a look, this date and time, they're not exactly as Google Calendar is expecting. So you need to click here in format, and again, it is for free. And the event, we want to change the date and time. All right, so we click here continue, and what will be our action? We want to transform the format of date and time. And then we're going to insert here the values we want to change, we want to transform. So I'm going to click in here, and I am going to select the appointment date, which is what the person selected, and the appointment time. So this way we're going to get the date and time that the person input in the chat and convert correctly to our Google Calendar. And the true format, I'm going to select this option here, year, month, date, and the hour, minutes, and seconds. All right, so then we click continue, and we're going to test this step. If everything went well, you're going to see this message, and we're going to continue. Once we do that, I want to add an extra step. So in my case, my appointments, they have a length of 30 minutes, but you can have a 1 hour of appointment, or even more or less. So you should decide here what will be the end time of your appointment. And for that, I'm going to format again, because I need to know how much I want to change. So again, I'm going to be changing the date and time, and I want to add or subtract time. In our case, I want to get the current time that the person selected for the appointment, and I want to add more 30 minutes because the appointment will have duration of 30 minutes in total. So the input will be again in this case, I can already grab the output of the last conversion we did, and the expression here, you should say how much you want to give or subtract from the time. In my case, I want to give extra 30 minutes, and the true format, I'm going to use the same we decided to use in the previous case, which is this one. Then we click continue, and if we test, we're going to see that we have 30 minutes extra. So we were able to do this part. Now to complete, we want to connect our chatbot with our Google Calendar. So I'm going to select here Google Calendar, and I am going to create an event, create a detailed event. And why is that? Because I want to give the day, time, how long it will take, and with which person I'm going to make this appointment. So this is why we need to use this event. You're going to connect with your Google account, no worries at all. And for the action, you're going to select the calendar you want to work. I'm going to get here my business email. The summary here, you can give a name for that. So I'm going to say appointment with, and I want to input the name of the person in my calendar. Then here there are some things you can add, but I will just add the required parts. So for the start date and time, I'm gonna get the date and time that we first converted in here. So this is the option. And for the end date and time is the second conversion we did. So here, this with 30 minutes extra. So we are saying that the appointment will have a duration of 30 minutes in that specified date and time. And the attendees, I'm going to insert the email of my client, of my customer. So here I will put the email, and then with that, our client will receive an email with an invite. So it won't only display in your calendar, but also in your customer's client calendar, which is pretty wonderful. This is what we want. Then I click continue. It will test, and everything should work properly. So if it's working, you just click publish, and this is it. This is what you need. I won't be publishing because I already have this in here, and it has exactly the same steps you did. All right. So we are connecting our chatbot with Google Calendar, and let's see how it goes. Alright, so let's try it out. I am landing here in the website. I'm gonna click here chat with us, and it's triggering for me this message. I will say I would like to book an appointment. What is your name? I'm gonna say Giovanna. And my email, I'm gonna put a personal email that I have that I don't use it anymore. And then I'm gonna put here 2024 0606 at 10 hours, and we're gonna receive your meeting is confirmed. If I refresh here my calendar, it will appear for us that we have a new meeting at the time scheduled. So let's double check in here, and as we can see, this is the time scheduled for our meeting with Giovanna, and I also send here the email. All right, in my case it's changing a little bit the time because the calendar I am using here in my computer is from another time zone, but it is working. If you trade out, it will work exactly as expected. This is nice because we can have the time, date, and we're also sending the email to the person, and if I open it up my personal email, we're gonna receive this invite as well. All right, so this is it that I would like to show you. If you want to simplify your life and your business to focus on what really matters, you should automate as much as you can using an AI chatbot and also this automation to simplify your life. This way you can focus on other aspects of your work and also in your personal life, and you're gonna save up a lot of time and headache that this part of scheduling appointments can be. All right, so if you have any question, you can send here in the description, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.
Get our ebook now on the top 10 time-saving automations for small business in the description below.